Welcome. I'm Buffy Briggs,
And I'm Elizabeth Reinberg.
and we are two daughters on dementia.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We wanted to talk today about support groups and the benefits and where to find them. But I also wanted to share one more travel tip that we found hugely helpful on our last vacation with my dad. We got shower curtain liners, and we got like an extra long one, even if it's just a regular size one, and put it on the bed underneath the sheets and tucked it in as best we could, so that we had that on top of and then the sheet, and then the waterproof pads, because we were in a VRBO, so we were in somebody else's home. So it's just another tip if you have any incontinence issues. So now on to our
I love
topic
that.
for today.
Yeah.
Support groups and how important they are, and where to find them, and why we like them so much.
Yes, so this is one of the things that I swear by and will tell every caregiver to give it a shot, and give a couple different ones a shot. So I started going to support groups prior to diagnosis when we were in that assessment process, and I went religiously once a month to a group that was initially side by side. The person with the health condition had a group they could go to, and then I went to a group with the family partners. And my mom went to that once, maybe twice with me, and then she realized some of these people are more advanced than me and it's not fun for her to go, so she stopped going, but I kept going. And I have gone on and off every month for the last 10 years because it is helpful. I'm going this Saturday.
Good for you. I think one of the important things to pull out of that is that you don't have to go every month. You can go off, like you said, off and on for 10 years. So going for a while, but giving it a couple of visits or a couple of times. Every session is going to be different. There's going to be different topics. There's going to be a different mood, and all of that can be very impactful on how everybody is communicating that day. So if you go once and you're like, I don't know if this is for me, go again the next month just to see. And if you don't like that one, or if you don't seem to mesh with that group, there's nothing wrong with that. Find another group. They're online, on the phone. There's Facebook groups. You can comment in our comments here, and we can help you try and find something. Also, going to the official websites for whatever the diagnosis is, they often have information about support groups. So that's a good place to start. What are some other places that you found help, Elizabeth?
I also got connected with the James L. West Center for Dementia Care, and they actually have weekly support groups online. And then some of the Alzheimer's Association in the last couple of years have also become weekly groups. Sometimes needs are a little bit more intense, or sometimes we just went to a group and then something happens and we need support. So there's opportunity not just for monthly, but for whatever frequency you need. And maybe it's once a year, I don't know. But
Right.
It can be really helpful.
There are specialty support groups in many areas that are specifically for male caregivers, because men and women look at things differently and we approach things differently, and so sometimes our male caregivers find more support or more applicable answers for them in a male formatted support group. There's also support groups for young adults or daughters who are caregivers. There's also support groups for younger kids. Lorenzo's House. Lorenzo's House is amazing. It's a camp, it's a support group, and all kinds of resources for kids under 18, so that they can try and understand what's going on. It's great for kids and grandkids.
Yeah. Let's talk about different ways to show up to a support group. I've showed up to support groups devastated, and I just put my head down on the table and cried. And everybody was talking and they were comforting me, but we went on with the group because the people walking this journey knew that it was okay for me to be sad and cry, and didn't try to make me feel better, and just let me be safe in that moment to be upset. Like, let's be honest, it wasn't like just a couple quick minutes. Like, I cried on and off for an hour and a half.
Really emotionally draining and psychologically draining stuff. And so when you have those moments where you feel like you need a safe place to cry or to be with other people who understand and aren't going to say, oh, you should do this, you should do that, why aren't you doing this? That's the place to go, and that's where you're going to find your people and your village that will help you get through this journey. I know at one point I was involved in a support group where there were a lot of very angry people. They had their person with dementia had been having behaviors, and it had been like ongoing and just crazy intense for all of them, for almost everybody there. And they were just like venting. And that's their safe space to do that too. Doesn't mean that that support group is always going to be like that. It could be this is just the phase that they're in most recently that's come to mind. So that's another, how you show up is non-judgmental.
Yes, but I also liked you giving permission to show up angry, because I definitely showed up angry. Whether it's
absolutely.
angry at the disease, angry at the medical community and the gaps we're facing, angry that care and resources are so expensive, angry at other family members who are less or more involved in different ways. Alex?
Or friends and
Yeah.
family that think they know better than you as the caregiver 24/7. Showing up angry, showing up sad, showing up overwhelmed, exhausted, stressed, all of that is totally acceptable. And that is your safe space to do that. That is also everybody else's safe space to do that. So the respect that you would like people to give you in your moments, you also need to be prepared to be able to give that to other people.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about, like, they're not all one size fits all. So I've gone to, I think 4 or 5 different support groups over the years. One was a adult children support group online. Another is in person with a variety of family partners. So men, women, spouses, children, siblings, all of it. I went to one in person at the Alzheimer's Association for a little while. And there were times where maybe I was met with other people's fears when I was sharing. Or I experienced fear when I heard what somebody else was sharing.
Yep.
A big one that is bound to get a rise is if your loved one is driving and you talk about that in the support group, you may have people who can seem aggressive in what they're trying to communicate. Like, you shouldn't let them drive, you need to make them stop driving, X, Y, or Z. And that could be valid. You know, every situation is different. But that intensity can come out of fear for you, fear for your loved one and their safety, and fear for other people on the road. So if you go to a support group and you're talking about a particular topic and you get a really emotionally charged response from the group, let them know if that was too much, like, hey, that wasn't helpful, or We're going to have to talk about this again another time because this isn't feeling right. Like, yeah.
And as we're going to support groups, everybody's in a different place. And it's cyclical. So if people in a support group have been there for a while, then they've kind of come in wherever they are, but they've gone through their progression with that group of people. And so you might not be at the same place that they are. Like they could be 10 years in, like you are, and my person could have just been diagnosed. And so you and I are going to be talking about some very different things. However, just because I'm in the beginning stages does not mean that there isn't valuable information that I can pick up. So don't give up on support groups. Understand that they're cyclical. Be patient with yourself and with everybody else. The Alzheimer's.org website has a support group tab, and it has a spreadsheet of all different kinds of support groups, not just for Alzheimer's, but also depending on where you are, churches, community centers, and area agencies on aging. They can also sometimes provide support group locations for you, and every area should have one of those.
The only other thing I would say about support groups is that if you've never been and you're going for your first time, your second time, you may still have insight and things that you can share that benefit the people who have been there or who've been doing it for a while. The strength of support groups is shared thinking, collective brainstorming, creativity of multiple people. And so something that you thought of that was really simple, I may not have thought of over the last 10 years, but could make an immense difference in my life. And so just knowing that you have value to contribute regardless of where you are in this journey, and it's okay to speak up and share. It's also okay to not speak up if you want to just listen. If you're even not ready to sit at the table or in the circle, but you want to be in the room. People understand the different needs of people in the group. There's always a facilitator of these groups. Some of them are people with lived experience as care partners, and others are like trained professionals. But they can help manage the dynamics of the group.
When you watch this, if you have a question or a comment, leave it in the notes. If we can, we'll get back to you, or we'll address it on the next time we record. So we love you. Give yourself grace. Take care
Thanks
of
for
yourself.
joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved one. And we'll see you later.
Yeah, and come check out our next episode on Two Daughters on Dementia.